My dad bought this camera in the 1970s, early 1970s, when my older sister was born. He ended up just taking pictures of things that were beautiful to him, artistic shots, not slowing down to take shots of my sister. So then when I was born, my mom bought her own point and shoot to take family pictures. When my dad died of a heart attack a little under a year ago, then I inherited his camera, old Konica. I hear some people pronounce it Konica, auto reflex T. It's got this full manual lens, 1.4 to 16, the f-stop 1.4. So I took it into the local shop, Gene's Camera, and had them clean it up, look it over, and they discovered the counter doesn't work. And they said the old batteries, old mercury batteries, that was, instead of using that, just use a phone app. You'll see using that a little later. It had through the lens metering, but instead of using that, just use the app. I have a picture of Dad with his camera around his neck in the late 80s. We were in Utah, Canyonlands. We were out hiking, and he was giving me my first photography lesson. I had a point and shoot, 35 millimeter point and shoot, and he was teaching me about composition and framing. After Dad died and I inherited his camera, I decided to do an experiment, and that is to once a year shoot a roll of film in his honor in the month he was born. And so this is my first roll of film, and I'm getting towards the end of the roll. This year I chose to shoot color, and talking it over with the team at Gene's Camera, decided to go with 800 ISO, and we'll see how that goes after I get it back. And they also said to that it was okay to overexpose, so that'll be an experiment. The app that I'm using to check my metering, instead of setting it on 800, I have it set on 640. They said, you know, it could do 640 even down to 400. And so this video is about me learning to use this camera functionally, creatively, not only learning to use this particular camera, this body, this lens, but going back to using film that I haven't shot on since, I don't know, 2006, 2000, maybe 7. I've just shot digital since then, and so going back to all the things that it means to shoot film. So today I'm just gonna go hike and use the camera and record some stories about Dad, and reflecting on missing him and just grief in general, loss, things I've been working through this last year of missing him. And yeah, so let's hit the trail along the Manistee River, and let's see what stories unfold and what pictures we can take. All right, I walked from camp down to the Manistee River, and I said we were gonna go start to tell those stories and reminisce, but I actually want to jump back to last night. I was here on the bridge at sunset, the evening light, and so let's jump to that right back at this bridge. So this is the suspension bridge at the northern connection point between the Manistee River Trail and the North Country Trail. This is just below Hodenpile Dam on the Manistee River, and the sun has just come out from under a cloud, and I want to see if there's a way to get downstream to get a picture of this bridge. So here on this side, that's the Manistee River Trail. And let's cross over to the North Country side. Let's see what we can get over there. such a beautiful place. I just love this. That could be a picture right there instead of the bridge. Looking downstream. Well, let's keep looking. We don't have a lot of time. Just came out from under that cloud. I wonder. And just to show you upstream. Ooh, I just heard, I think that was a fish. So what I have to do when I'm looking at a shot, I open the light meter app. Let's keep moving the aperture until we get this down to a range that even makes sense. My dad's old camera can only go to 1/1000th. That's it. That's our sunny 16. We could try that, give that a shot. That's beautiful. And I'm just gonna take a picture of it with my phone just to get that. And now, what do we think? And you know, it's tight. This lens is just really tight, and doesn't look as good through this focal length. I like that much wider on the phone and the GoPro. I think I'm gonna save this picture and move on to a different one. I think this, even though I'd like to be a little further downstream, I'm about to lose light, and I think this might be as far as I can get away. So I'm gonna walk down here, set my tripod, whoa. So I'll try my app again. I'm losing that light fast. All right, so let's see for that. Okay, so it's very different now. So now, if we go, I'm losing it. We could try that. F9, 1/300th. Oh, the light's almost gone. Yeah, I lost the light, so I'm not gonna take this shot unless it pops back out. I've got my exposure ready. If it's down behind the trees, then I'm just gonna, then we're done for the night. Do I take that? Do I wait? It's hard to know when I want to make every shot count. At this point, I'm not sure how many pictures I've left on this roll, but I'm gonna go with this. I'm down at water level. I think that's gonna be my one shot of that. If I were up higher, I would be able to get more of the water with it. We can go up and see if it's enough of a difference to try. Oy. You know, if I would have shot it from here, I would have had a little more in the foreground. Maybe I'll just do one more. We'll see. That's the thing with film. We'll see later. I'm gonna do one with my cell phone also. I do like that wide. It's interesting to compare the ease of just grabbing out my phone, one finger to get the camera app out, one finger to push a button and let the computer do everything, versus the full manual film. There's so many more decisions to be made. Thought I'd just walk down this path a little bit. down the Manistee River. See what else is down here. There's a spot where I would have been further from the bridge, which I think would have been a little better with this lens, but yeah, I wouldn't have had a very clear view. How about down here? I'm not going to shoot any more of the bridge tonight, but it's pretty. Well, that would have been wider for this lens, but I like what we got. We'll see how it turns out. Now we're crossing from the North Country Trail side, where I was taking the picture, back to the Manistee River Trail side. So upstream, right at that corner, on the inside of the corner, inside that bend, is a nice swimming, wading spot. Young kids can play there. And then up there's the dam, Hodenpyle Dam. Down, next stop is Red Bridge. One of my favorite sections, whether it's on the hiking trails, north and south, you can connect as a loop, or the river itself. We paddled that a number of times. So that picture I just took was from the inside of that bend, looking up this direction. There's the sun peeking through. So beautiful. Alright, so that's what I shot last night with Dad's camera, and let's hit the trail now and reflect on it a little bit more. The camera itself, using film, and the whole idea of grief and loss. Let's take a break here. You see backpackers down at that point, maybe fishing for lunch. So first I'm going to talk a little more about this app. So if I open Light Meter, let's see if I can do it on here. Then I get the scene, and I've got it set at 640 for ISO. Aperture 1.4 is the most wide open my lens goes, but I can only do 1,000th of a second, so I have to move the aperture until we can get down to 1/1000th. Or I can, keep going below that, but at least f-stop of 10. That would, when I get the shadow in, then it's going. But I really want to, for me, I'm going for, maybe even 11. I want it to look, that part up there to look good, and the shadows up here to be darker. So I could try that 11 and 1/1000th. And here, I really like this wide view. When I look at it on the camera, it's the Konica it's just such a tighter lens. So I'm gonna step way back. Got it set on 1/1000th. And I can't get the whole bend. Oh, but there's some kayakers coming. Those look nice. Kayakers this way. Oh, I like that. So at the last second, I changed my shot. There's somebody in a canoe and a kayak coming around, and I just liked like that. So I went to the other side, shot upriver, instead of doing the shot of the people backpacking down there that I planned on. So I changed in the moment. Here you can see. And that is a huge difference between film and digital. I can take a shot with digital and I'll look at it later, see if I like it. With film, I just feel like every shot I have to know that I like it.
Which way? I think so. Good choice.
That up there's the overlook where we just were stopped. One of the shortcomings, one of the problems that goes with that I didn't journal while I was taking these photos this month doing this project, that when you pair that with the counter on Dad's camera isn't working right, or isn't working. I don't know how many photos I have left. I didn't keep track. So on the one hand, you know, journaling is a teaching, a learning tool, and in this case, you know, I already want to make each shot count that I'm shooting, and you know, since I have limited, but I don't know how many I have left, and so it all the more, you know, I don't know how many shots I have up ahead, you know, how many scenes today I'm going to want to record. So it's a big question mark. Just what should I take? Wishing I had a better record of it.
Good. That's good. That.
I'm lost. Why would they take this photo?
Yeah, perfect. You're gonna be famous.
Can I bring it back there? Oh, you can bring it back there.
Another thing with film that's obvious is the weighting. After these years of shooting with digital, I'm so used to, you know, get the shot, evaluate it, think it over, adjust lighting, adjust framing. If it's more studio setting, you know, internal things. With the film, you take it and you hope, you wait. I've been using this camera, Dad's camera, at a few different places, and I'll show those places, the lake, and a few things. I'll share those pictures, the setting, and what I got from them. And it's so hard to wait this whole month of, you know, did they turn out? Are they great? Do I wish I'd taken something else? And so to go back to this attitude of waiting, or this understanding that so much of life is waiting. You know, I've got a young son, and he hates waiting. It's like the most painful thing, and I can relate. This is the type of waiting that kills me. I want to know, you know, how did it turn out? Is it any good? And but with that, that film also, like I was saying, it makes me more intentional. I think of Joe Greer. He in his Leica M6 video, and how film slows him down, makes him more intentional, the creative process, and I feel it. I feel that intentionality, the slowness. I'm sure when my dad got this camera in the 70s, you know, trying to take pictures of a baby, toddler, little kid, be a lot more difficult than, you know, pulling out your cell phone now and just snapping a shot, a little video clip. It's so easy now, but for him to get the exposure right, get the focus right, you know, manual focus. I'm sure it was a challenge for him with a kid, but over this month, it's been showing me this intentionality, this focus, this slowing down. It's a different rhythm, a different process, and it's been uncomfortable, but I think it's really good for me, thinking through what are my intentions, what are my priorities, what do I need to do. So Joe's right. There's some fish down there. I don't know if you can see them. I don't know if you can see the campsite down on the right. Such a perfect place. So I'm going to try and do a vertical shot of this stream. I'll take one picture here. In some ways it'd be better if I were a little higher, but I'm going to try and do this. So to do the metering, let's see if this will show up. So I've got 640 locked in. And then for my ISO, my widest aperture, or for the greatest depth of field with this camera, is a 16, f16. I can't shoot 1/5, so I'm gonna move the f-stop until I feel like I have a reasonable. So I'm down to 9.5, f4, f4.5. Okay, I'm gonna try that. 1/60th, 4.5. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see. So I'm trying to figure out how to get a picture of that bridge. There's a tent up behind it. It's kind of cool. The stream. I'm not sure if I can get maybe out on. It's a bit of a drop there, but I don't know. I think I can get a shot. Nice. That's hilarious. Flashed a peace sign. I hope that turned out. We'll see when it comes. Never know what will happen. I'm trying to give it a shot. I was planning to put in here at Red Bridge, and had my boat all set, ready to go, and two ladies told me that they were waiting for a ride, pick them up, take them up to upstream, and the gentleman came while I was still here, and so he's going to take me up to Hodenpyle Dam, and I'll get to paddle the river today. So that was some unforeseen, it's an unforeseen blessing, a great change for the day. So instead of putting in here and trying to paddle upstream, I'm going to put in at Hodenpyle Dam and then get out here. So rock and roll. So the Manistee River Facebook group, or Manistee River Trail Facebook group?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
To get a hold of you and get this spot. Nice. What are the names of your cabins again? Your
Lazy Bear Cabins.
Lazy Bear Cabins, alright. Manistee. So this is the Manistee River just below Hodenpyle Dam. So my car is down at Red Bridge. I'll get out there. I won't be able to take pictures very easily on the river while I'm out. I might stop once in a while, maybe to take pictures, but I'm gonna try and use, let's see if I can get a shot here to start at Dad's camera. So, and finally, you know, my brain works at like half speed or half functions. I finally had the idea that I just need to do a screenshot every time I do the exposure, and then I'll have it. So 640 f14. If I go to f14, 1/1000th of a second. Got my dad's camera and the other electronics in the dry bag. Get that ready to go. Wading out here into the water. It's chilly coming out from underneath the dam. Get out here a little bit. Alright, let's do this thing. Get out to the deeper water. On this paddling trip today, I'm thinking of another difference between film and shooting digital. So I took one picture with my dad's Konica there at the beginning, and then otherwise I've just left it in the dry bag the whole trip. Whereas this GoPro or my iPhone, I've had them out snapping pictures, video. It's just such an easier format. Our family has almost no pictures of us out kayaking or canoeing, even though we did it so much together. And I can just see just why it would have been so hard if you're afraid of going in and trying to keep your camera dry. Just was a different day. So on this trip, definitely the digital is getting the storytelling on the river. And just a minute here. I'm gonna spin around, just get out of the way of this tree. Digital is getting me the storytelling here. There are places I definitely could stop and take individual pictures. And then the other big change, so that 57mm lens, just for landscape that I would want to do out here is just too tight. So I might look into getting a wider lens, something maybe in the 20s. I'm not sure exactly, but that's one thing. It's not really about switching back to film versus digital, but something I've definitely noticed on this trip. Yeah. Another big change moving from digital and going back to film are the parameters. I'm used to shooting Canon R6, rolling the ISO up and down, going to the thousands, the tens of thousands. And on this, by the film, there's your ISO. So I bought 800. It's like shooting Canon C-Log3, where you just do use whatever it takes to make that work, whether you're adding light if it's a controlled situation, or if you're outside and it's too bright, using some sort of filter, ND, variable ND, whatever you have, or shades, or and so it feels somewhat like that. The parameters of, okay, you're stuck at this ISO, and then with the others like f-stop, it's a small parameter, small range. Shutter speed is really a limited parameter, max of or fastest of a thousandth of a second, or down to 60th of a second. You can't push it lower, but handheld the way I'm doing without a tripod, I don't have an image stabilization to push it, like I do in a Canon R6 or any of the new mirrorless, other new mirrorless. So it's a much more limited, be creative within these parameters type of situation. And it's interesting. Okay, how do I work with this? Is this picture just gonna be overexposed? And that's the way it is. And it's interesting, instead of making that less creative in some ways, within a smaller band, it's like you have to, you actually have to be more creative to figure out how to get the shot you want within that. So it's interesting paradox, I guess. Fewer options forcing you to be more creative. I've heard someone else say that the more skilled you are, the fewer tools you need. You can make one tool do more things. I don't know. Interesting to think about. There's an adventurer, author, YouTuber that I like in Australia, Bo Miles, and got his book. My wife gave me his book, The Backyard Adventurer, and he has one video where he took 24 hours to run a marathon and to fix a canoe, and but every hour he'd run for an hour, or he'd run his laps around his property, and then fix the canoe, work on the canoe, and then run, and then fix. And I thought about doing a similar thing on this weekend. Not quite like that, but I thought I could give myself 24 hours to make this video and hike the loop, the Manistee River Trail and North Country Trail, Manistee River Trail, North Country Trail. To take the gear with me, not camp, but just hike for 24 hours and make the video. That would have been fun. Maybe I'll do that again maybe I'll do that sometime with a different type of project, but for this project, this turned out well, splitting camping, hiking, and now paddling over this weekend, making the video about Dad. That's worked out well. I'm really glad this kayak trip, this paddling worked. Could have this time. Coming into Red Bridge. And the takeout. I'm back in the office now after the time up on the Manistee River. It was a lot of fun to get out on the trail and experiment with the camera I inherited from my dad, his Konica, and get back to using film, learning his camera in particular. Clearly, after reviewing the pictures from the trip, I need to get back to focusing on the artistic considerations, composition, learning that film stock, and moving beyond just the details of that particular camera, of Dad's camera, since composition was off and framing and a number of issues. There are some peculiar choices for exposure. Now, to wrap up this very long video, I want to share a few pictures that I actually took before that Manistee hike. One was in Chicago and one was at Lake Michigan, two different outings. So let's look at a few of these together quickly. First is the Lake Michigan day out. One of the rare times I actually got the horizon somewhat level. I just liked how the colors from our family umbrella turned out there. This one, the umbrella was casting a significant color hue, but I thought that added a little spice to it. And then I took a number of the water. Here I was still on the sand, taking a shot out. And then I ventured into the water here. I was nervous to take the camera out, but I was extra careful. But I like that perspective a little further out into the water, looking back towards the beach. I really like this one. Clouds came in and darkened in the trees on the hill behind the beach. And so that really made the beachgoers pop a little bit more, a little more contrast. So I liked how that one turned out. And then moving to Chicago, this was while we were walking around and this boat came by. This, we were up in the Ferris wheel. The next few shots will be from the Ferris wheel. So there's reflection in the glass. I tried to get up next to the glass to take these pictures, but I still had a reflection. I like this of the bay. I did cut off the top antennas of the tower. And while we're still on the Ferris wheel, this ride was spinning next to us. So another of the skyscrapers. This goal was a willing model, but not a great shot. And then the last one, back at home, the spider was putting on a show, so I went out early in the morning and got this shot of it. So now as we wrap up, thank you again for sharing this journey. This video, it was more about my dad's camera, learning to use film, and that set of experiments. And then the companion video that I shot at the same time, the same weekend at Manistee, where I was thinking more about Dad, dealing with my grief, thinking through my loss. So that video you can also find on my YouTube channel as these two videos fit together. So as we go out and continue to experiment, create, let's remember the people that poured into us, that made it possible for us to be here creatively, in whatever way that people held us up and helped us become who we are. And then pass on this great medium that we love, photography, video, to pass it on to others, whether that's to friends, to maybe our kids, maybe Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Boys Club, Girls Club, whoever we can share it with. We know how much it's meant to us. So, and it means a lot to me that you shared this journey. So all the best to you as you continue to create, experiment, and pass on this craft to others.